Okay, welcome back, guys. Welcome back to our first tutorial for this presentation today. We actually ended with this slide where I talked about the next lesson, the next lecture we're going to discuss today. I said we are going to look at the common computer terminology. Okay, but I had gone through some of the objectives. I said, like, the first lecture, the first presentation, we had objectives we wanted to meet. Okay, so we wanted to achieve some given objectives, and I remember I read them for you, and you actually watched them. So let's go through a few objectives that we have to follow today. One is to identify the primary hardware components of the computer. By the end of this lecture, by the end of this presentation, by the end of this topic, computer terminology, we expect to be able to identify the primary hardware components of the computer. So define an operating system and its role. Wow, we have also to define that. Remember, in our previous presentation, we said computers work with operating systems. When we are to start a computer, we need to make sure the computer has logged on to the operating system. Well, we are going to define it here, and then maybe we get to know more about it. Also, we shall have to define the term program. We shall see what a term program means, or whatever that terminology means. So explain what is meant by data. Data is also going to be part of our discussion today. Also define the term network and identify the benefits of networking. Also, we shall look at the definition of internet. Definition of internet. I made some presentation, some tutorial some time back that was about the internet. So we shall have to define it here also for our beginners. Okay. Okay, let's get started right away with the hardware. So we have looked at different parts of the computer: inputs, output, processing, storage. All those are parts of the computer, but where do they fall? So we have what we are calling hardware. So one would define something, hardware as something that is physical, tangible, something you can touch and see. Okay, so that is hardware. So here in our presentation, there are very many definitions outside there, and very many people have defined hardware differently according to how someone understands it. Okay, so in this tutorial here, we are defining hardware as all physical components of the computer. So like I said, physical, tangible, something you can see, you can touch and feel its texture, you see it. So that is a hardware. Okay, so just as simple as physical components of a computer. So these components include all input devices, processing devices, storage devices, and output devices. If we have a computer system and want to describe hardware components or hardware parts, we are looking at all the input, processing, storage, and output. Examples of hardware components, you can name them, very many of them, but for us here we're going to focus on the keyboard, the mouse, the motherboard, the monitor, the hard disk, cables, and printers. So we are also looking at all those. Remember, we discussed this in our previous tutorial, in our introduction, where we looked at the keyboard, mouse, motherboard, monitor, hard drive or hard disk, cables and connectors. All these tangible components, they are physical components. Okay, so hardware entails all these. So for example, look at this. So we have a printer is a hardware component. We have the computer system, the whole of it. Look at the keyboard, look at the mouse, look at the monitor, look at the case, the computer case or the systems unit. Even if we open the systems unit, inside there are hard disks, like we have it here. There is a hard disk, there is a motherboard, but there are other tangible components of the computer inside there. Okay, so let's right away go to another terminology, that is the operating system. So after having the other computer system, we are saying it is comprised of hardware, mainly hardware components. But here let's look at the software part, that is the operating system. So before we jump into the discussion of this slide, in brief, the operating system is that interface, is that environment that allows you, the user of the computer, to actually communicate to the other hardware components. So in brief, without the hardware, the software will not work. The operating system may not work. Without the operating system, then the hardware will not work. Okay, so the other way round works. Without the hardware, without the software, then nothing happens. So let's look at the operating system, whereby we are saying is the most important software on the computer. So after collecting all the hardware components together, then we expect to have some software. We will not do any other thing, we will not use any other software unless we first have the operating system on our computers. Okay, so it is very, very important, and it is necessary to have the operating system. It is a software, as I said. So in this case, the software is, as the name suggests, it is soft. It is hard. I don't really mean that it is soft, that when you touch it you feel it is soft like this cloth. No, it is hard to touch. You can see but you can't touch. That is a software. Okay, it is just installed to help the hardware part to run very well, or to work successfully. So controls and managers, it controls and manages the hardware connected to your computer. Like I said in some description, I've said the hardware controls how the software controls how the hardware will work. But also the software will not control anything unless there is a hardware. Okay, so the operating system controls and manages the hardware that is connected on the computer you are using. So it also provides an interface, like I said, an interface that helps you to interact with the computer or with the other parts of the computer. For example, I want to bring it to our normal understanding. Guys, those who like football, those who like sports, take an example. You're in a football pitch. Yes, you're in a football pitch. So the football is a platform. What you are performing there is playing football. Okay, so without the pitch, then you may not play football. Okay, without the hardware, the software may not work. The operating system may not work. In real sense, it will not work. But also without the operating system, the hardware will not do anything. It will just be there like something that is not doing anything, useless. Okay, so it ensures that your computer is functioning properly. Like, it is from this interface, it is from the operating system we see which part is working, which part is not. Because without the operating system, no communication we will get. So we test that, we see that only if we log on to the operating system, we will be able to know this part is not working, this part is not going to work, this is okay, including all parts of the computer that we connect and those that are always found in the computer system. So Windows XP is an example of the operating system. It is quite an old version, but it is an example of the operating system. Look at other examples like Windows 7. Look at Linux for those who do system administration. Linux. They are all operating systems. So currently we have Windows 10, Windows 8 with their versions. Right? So their interfaces, they are the ones that help the computers to run. I mean operating systems. Also, it can be either text-based or graphical-based. For example, text-based, I would actually refer you to Linux. With Linux, we only use commands. We only use text. We use commands to actually discuss, to actually perform tasks. With other Windows operating systems like Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10, Windows XP, they are graphical based. So they contain both, like I have described down here, graphics based operating systems help you install hardware or software with ease to use interfaces. So graphics, we mean the combination of text and pictures. Okay, so easy to use is graphical, and then the other is command line, is text based. Linux is an example, right? So let's continue. I hope, guys, you have understood very well this slide, and I expect you to have posted questions on my email address. I will answer all the questions that I find. Okay. Remember, from the start I said in some other, if you watch other tutorials, I said it is hard to tell someone that you know everything. We are all not perfect. We actually expect to have other ideas from other people to learn. Okay, so let's jump to this slide that is talking about programs. I'm saying the hardware and the operating system together are referred as a platform. So a program is just a platform. Like I said, the pitch is a platform where football can be played from. Okay, so the operating system is a software, and then we have other things. So the hardware and the operating system together are referred to as a platform through which the computer system works. Okay, so programs, also called applications, like you guys have a lot of programs on your computers, you have a lot of applications on your computers, on your phones. All those are softwares. So we're saying use this platform to perform tasks. So we have programs like Adobe Photoshop, Microsoft Office applications, the Microsoft Office program. We have Adobe, I've talked about Adobe. We have other programs, VLC, music players. We have those who like mixing music. We have Virtual DJ as another software or another program. Name them. There are very many programs. Look at the applications, WhatsApp. Look at the gaming applications. So they are let's take an example that they are the ones that run on the platform that we have looked on the first point here. So they find it easy to run on a platform that is really helpful, like a combination of hardware and the operating system. So there are many types of programs. Some programs allow you to perform tasks such as writing letters, doing calculations, or sending a text or email message. Okay, so look at Microsoft Office Word. You can use it to type a letter, type text something. Look at the email. You can email someone by typing. All those are programs. Other programs allow you to create illustrations, play games, watch movies on your computer, okay, or you communicate to other computer users. So I talked about gaming applications or game applications. I talked about Adobe Photoshop as one of the programs. There are others, Adobe Illustrator, Adobe InDesign. You can use it to do designs, to design certificates, but all that you're doing it on a platform called, on a platform that is a combination of hardware and operating system. Okay, so this is another thing that we need to focus on, that is data. Data is another important thing, another important point we have to put in our minds, that whenever we are inputting in our computer, like we saw in the on our first presentation, we said inputting, we are just sending raw materials, data. We input data, okay, but that data is processed later on. We get information as the output. So data is another important thing that we have to describe here, or some term that we have to use in the computing field. So programs process data that you provide as input to your computer. So for example, let's take an example of Microsoft Office applications, Word. Microsoft Office Word. What we type are just things disorganized. We just buy ideas from our brain, but it is processed. Later on we get the output that we see. Data can be in the form of text, graphics, audio, video, like I said. Okay, so look at Mozilla Firefox. They are internet browsers, Mozilla Firefox, Opera, and others. So Google Chrome, they need data, a specific kind of data that you input so that it gives you output. It is a program, right? So programs process data and displays the output on the screen. So data as a terminology used in computing, we are saying those programs that we install on our computer on the other platform process the data and then displays it on our computers, on our screens, of course, on our hardware component that we looked at as a screen or the monitor. So you can save this output in a file. The results, like we said, storage. We store by saving what we have done on our computers. So you can save this output in a file that you would retrieve sometime to come. You can always revisit the application, the file, and retrieve the work you've saved there. The file can be on an audio file, text, a graphic, or a video. Like for example, after this, I hope I will have to save my video, to save my presentation. Okay, so guys, try to put to put it into your own thinking, look at data. Look at data. So we can't work with computer without data, right? We need data so that we work with computer. Remember, I said in inputting, when we're inputting data, which is the raw materials. Okay, so that takes us to this other terminology called networks. Networks. I hear most people say, put me on your network. Guys, a network is an interconnection of different things that can communicate together. There is a network between me and someone else I talk to. Okay, so here, as in this introduction, we're saying a network is a group of computers and associated devices that are linked together to facilitate sharing of information. So a network is that connection, like I said, is linking things together. For example, if we have these computers, my computer gets someone's computer, add another computer in different locations or within the same locality or the same geographical area, we can form a network. Okay, I hear, guys, some people say you don't have network on your phone. Please climb a tree somewhere so that you can get a network. Someone is trying to get a connection with some other device somewhere. Okay, so devices connected together, linked together, so that they can try to smoothen the sharing of information is a network. It can also be used as used to share data and devices such as printers. So it is on a network that we can share different devices, and these devices can be not only computers but also devices like printers, devices like televisions, devices like cameras. So all these are connected on a network. So a typical network has the following three components. We are going to look at these components that make up a network, a typical network. So we expect someone to have a server. If it is to be called, okay, something to be called a network should have a server. It should have a workstation and a communication channel. The three components make up a network. Okay, they make up a network. So at some levels, I think we shall look at what a server is, what a workstation is, and what a communication channel is. Okay, continue watching tutorials, these videos. We shall have to get more explanation. So let's continue in details. We look at different networks. We are starting with the LAN. The local area network is the LAN, local area network. So to be precise, the local area network is that network that is set within a given locality, within a given geographical area. Computers within the same area sharing information. That one is termed as the local area network. So the LAN connects devices within a limited area, home or small groups of offices. So if I'm at home, then I can connect different devices within my home. So that is a local area network. Or even within the same geographical area in different offices. Okay, commonly includes computers and shared resources like printers and scanners. So like I normally give an example of NSSF offices, but plus other offices. Go to your universities, go to your institutions, check different offices, you find there is a network. Those people are printing using one computer. So a local area network eases things in a way that one does not need to procure a lot of printers, a lot of scanners, a lot of computers. So we need to share them on a network, most especially printers and scanners, even cameras. We just need to share them so that we can easily use them, and it is cost effective. Okay, so look at this. This is a connection of 3 computers that are in the same locality, in the same geographical area. Okay, so this is a local area network. A local area network, if one is to think about the local area network, think about things that are surrounding you. Think about offices that are in the same area. Okay, so that one makes a local area network. So another terminology here is the WAN or wide area network. The wide area. We have looked at the local area network, but also we're looking at the wide area network. So we're saying is a network that connects devices in geographically separated areas. Buy it from the first slide, the previous slide. We've said it is the network, the local area network is that network that is within a given geographical area and within homes. But here the wide area network we're saying is geographically separated areas. Okay? Across towns, across cities, and probably even across the world, the globe, the entire globe. So I'm saying here is used for means used to connect networks across different countries. The wide area network actually connects devices in the entire world. That is the wide area network. So the internet is an example of the wide area network. Geographically separated areas. I'm in Uganda here, someone is in China, someone is in Dubai, someone is in Saudi Arabia, someone is in the United States of America. We are able to communicate. That is a wide area network. So an example of the wide area network here is the internet. Look at this. This is the entire globe. Okay, the entire globe, guys. Sorry, guys. The entire globe is the wide area network. So computers can communicate from different locations. One can send a message from United States to Uganda here, but also I can send an email from here to Kampala, from here to Pachwa, from here to Kasese. Okay, so that is the wide area network. So what is this thing called the internet as the example of the wide area network? Guys, this is interesting. Sometimes people wonder what internet is. They're using things, they are typing things here, they are sending videos, they are sharing files, but they always ask what is the internet? Remember in some other tutorials I talked about internet. So internet is the worldwide connection or the worldwide collection of public networks. Public means everyone can use it. It is not private. It is not confined to someone's use, but it is public. It is used everywhere. Okay. So internet is the worldwide collection of public networks that are linked to each other for information exchange or information sharing. So this computer linked to another computer in Kenya, another computer in Dubai, another computer. So that is the internet. Provided we get public networks, we connect them together. In the other presentations, I said internet is the connection of networks. It's a network of networks. Okay, that means we get both private networks, we make them public for other users, then we form the internet. So internet offers a range of services to its users, like Guys, I want to tell you, follow subscribe to my channel, YouTube channel, and watch other tutorials. I talked about different offers by the internet. So here, to be expressive, I want to talk about files or file transfers between internet users and electronic mails. So we can share files. Sharing files is another example, is another service that is provided by the internet, alongside the other services that we talked about in other slides, in other presentations. So the World Wide Web, the www, or the web, is another service that the internet provides. It provides that World Wide Web. Okay, the internet provides that service, that one can view the web pages, can visit any website or any web page worldwide. Okay, and internet is a smaller, is smaller to the web, but is accessible only to authorized users of the organization. So the web, the internet can only be accessed by authorized users within a given organization, though it is worldwide. Okay, so it is similar to the web because the web is everywhere. It may not be limited to be accessed, but the internet can be limited within a given set of rules in an organization. Take an example of Mountains of the Moon University. You can only access the internet there, the internet services, only if you have the credentials to allow you. Take an example, if you have a password. Okay, you see the internet, yes, it is there, but you can only access it if you have the login passwords. Okay, so that is the internet. That is the internet. So here, remember, we are just in introduction to computers, and we are just discussing a few things, introducing those beginners, introducing those who want to know about computers. Okay, so guys, if you have a question to ask, you can ask, guys. I'm really waiting to answer those questions, and I will be there to answer them at any time. You can always follow me on my email address. You post your question there, I'll be able to answer you direct. So thank you for watching, guys. This marks the end of our presentation today, and please watch these videos. For those who like to do a short course in computer basics, this is the right channel to visit. I'm always saying we are sorry we may not be all that perfect. This is our beginning, and we hope to improve our channel. We hope to put more and more continuous videos that you guys can watch. My friends in Fort Portal, my friends in Kasese, my friends in Kiegegwa, my friends in Hoima, my friends in Kagadi, everywhere. Students are at home, they are seated at home, they are not going to school. This is the right time to visit the channel. This is the time to use the internet. This is the time to go and watch these YouTube videos. They will introduce you to the computer skills. The next time we meet, we are going to actually go to another thing that is also in line with the short courses, in line with the introduction to computers. Okay, thank you for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. I would like if you subscribe and we continue moving together. Let's help improve this channel, improve these tutorials, improve this learning together. Thank you for watching. I wish you a good evening.